Commission on Reapportionment will now come to order on October 20th, 2011. I ask the clerk to take a roll.
Co-Chair Stephen Arucci.
Present.
Co-Chair Michael J. McCaffrey.
Present.
Representative Grace Diaz. Representative Donald Lally. Representative William Sanbeto Jr. Representative Joseph A. Trillo.
Present.
Representative Daniel P. Riley.
Present.
Senator Mary Ellen Goodman. Senator Beatrice Lanzi.
Present.
Senator Juan Machado. Senator David E. Bates. Senator Francis T. Marr Jr. Delia Rodriguez Mazjon. Felix Apollonia.
Present.
Francis J. Flanagan. Matthew F. Bennett.
Present.
Arthur V. Strother. Ray Rickman.
We are going to present anything to you. We'll talk a little bit about the timetable and the process, but I'm going to turn it over to a special representative that we have brought down from the Census Bureau to talk to us about the census process. You remember that in my testimonies before that the census really kicks off this process. That is why we have a census. That is why 200 years ago in the Constitution it called for a census for people to be fairly represented in our government. And so the 200-year history of the census brings us now to 2010, and we have the results of the census, and that's what we are here to begin the process of talking about and looking at how the districts are configured. If you recall, over the past 4 meetings that we have held, I've testified and provided you with a lot of information, a lot of things that have gone into your binders, and we have put them up on the web. And so I will do a promotion for our website for you as well as members of the audience and members of the public that might be watching this telecast. Our website is www.redistricting.com, and we have an awful lot of information up there. All of the material that is in the binders of the commissioners is up there for the public to see. All the maps that we have been creating and looking at and studying over the course of our various hearings around the state are also up there on the website. And you'll find that, in fact, the video that is being taped right now will also be up on the website. So if indeed you have cases of insomnia late at night, you can watch us once again in terms of talking about redistricting. I'm crazy, but hopefully you guys are not as bad as I am. But we're here to listen to representatives from the Census Bureau. And if you recall, we have talked a lot about the data and what the data is telling us. And the main story that we have seen with the data is that there is a shift of population within the state. If you recall, there's not a lot of change statewide. It's only about 4,000 people that the state of Rhode Island added to its population from the 2000 census. So it's not a big change overall, but we are finding significant changes internally within the state. And indeed, we've gone around the state and showed maps that are in your binders and up on our website that shows this differences of population, and it seems to be heavily concentrated in the Bay and down along the coast. And so one of the things that has been the subject of discussion amongst the commissioners is what could be the cause of that. We have sought to get input from members of the public, and we hope that they testify tonight in terms of their thinking of what has happened in this past 10 years. But certainly we're seeing this shift of people being underpopulated along the coast, underpopulated amongst the Bay, and then overpopulated up here in Johnston and Providence and those territories up north here. So we're seeing a lot of change going on, and that's part of what we'll be dealing with as we deal with making changes to the districts. But that's predicated on the taking of a census. And with that, I want to introduce Michael Horgan, who is a representative from the Boston Regional Office. Census Bureau has 12 regional offices around this country. and Michael is from the Boston one. And so he's here to talk with you about their process that they undertook with the census and conducting the census, as well as answer questions. And I know that all of you are very capable because you've peppered me with questions for many a night on that side. So I hope you share equally with Michael in terms of questions that have come up. So with that, let me turn it over to Michael.
Good evening, co-chairs and members of the Redistricting Commission. My name is Michael Horgan. I served as Assistant Regional Census Manager in the Boston Regional, supervising census operations for the 2010 census. Currently, I'm working as a geography coordinator, supervising several of the geography programs that we have going on as a follow-up to the census. What I want to do tonight is make some brief comments about the background of the census and give you a perspective on some of the data that you're working with now, and give you an idea of what we went through to get to this point. Maybe help provide some understanding with some of the things that you've seen so far. I also want to be able to answer any questions you may have. I understand that some of you may have some questions about the census and about the data that you're seeing and understanding what that is. As you know, every 10 years we provide to the states the PL 94-171 redistricting data, which is used, as you know, to redraw the state legislative districts, and that's of course the work that you're doing now. I want to back up to 2005, and that's when we really first began the effort reaching out to the states. And that was really the beginning of our census process, where we began communicating with the states, and we also began phase one of the 5-phase redistricting process that you all are involved with at this point. We, of course, completed the third phase of that process last year when we delivered to the states the data that you're now using. And we had to get that delivered to the states by April 1st of 2000, or April 1st of this past year, I should say. And then we of course, completed that task ahead of schedule in many of the states, including Rhode Island. To give you an idea of where we came from and what you're looking at now, the data was a culmination of a multi-year effort involving a lot of people and a lot of resources to collect that data. You know, the effort of the census was to count everyone on Rhode Island once,